Hello, welcome to the UF-GAU General Body Meeting for the Spring 2020 semester. This is the first time that we are holding our General Body Meeting entirely virtually live from the GAU office in the stadium. So welcome. We have a pretty brief agenda today. Everyone's kind of getting used to this transition to online teaching, as well as taking care of their own personal physical and mental health during this ongoing pandemic. We're going to have an election by acclamation, and then we're going to go through some committee updates. I will be giving the CoPresident's update, as well as an update from Treasury, the International Student Affairs Committee, and the Stewards. And then we also have here in the office our organizing chair, Jonathan Cairella, Stephen Phillips, our communications chair, and our grievance officer, Kaylee McGinnis, who will be giving their updates. After the updates, I am going to ask that members and officers who are on this live stream open up Messenger and message UF Graduate Assistants United with any questions. So I will be fielding questions after the committee updates. So we're just going to wait until about 8 people at least are viewing this live stream before we move on to the election by acclamation. And Stephen, we have 4 viewers. Okay, so we're still waiting on 4 more. So please be patient and forgive sort of the awkwardness, as once again this is the first time we're holding a general body meeting via live stream on Facebook. So obviously there's going to be some kinks to work out, and we're all going to sort of just have to muddle through it. How many do we have now, Stephen? 5? Okay. We're inching closer to the 8-person threshold.
25% jump there.
Yeah, there's a 5% jump, right?
25.
It's good growth. It's a yes. Our private Facebook group apparently is in bull market territory, unlike the stock exchange. So, silver linings. And once again, open up your Messenger and pull up on Messenger UF Graduate Assistants United, so that way when we are done with the committee updates, we can field some questions. We have 6 yet. 7. We have 7. All right, one more.
Operators standing by.
Operators are standing by indeed. All right. So the first item of business, now that we have met our ad hoc quorum, first order of business is the elections. The election of officers, United Faculty of Florida United Faculty of Florida senators, and Florida Education Association delegates. So I have here a list of the nominees who have accepted their nominations. This list was provided to me by the Elections Committee. So I'm going to read off the nominees for each position, and then I'm going to briefly open the floor for additional nominations. Please be aware that if any additional nominations are made in any position, whether they are officer positions, UFF senator positions, or delegate positions, we will have to recess this meeting and postpone this meeting and the election until we can hold secret ballot elections. So just keep that in mind. This is by acclamation. Normally we would do this by applause or by a set of ayes and nays from the floor. This time, however, because we are operating in a virtual space and we can't have everyone on the microphone right now, I'm going to have you pretty much vote, or we're going to do the vote by acclamation via emoji. So give a thumbs up emoji or a smiley face emoji for aye when I ask for them. For nays, give a angry face or a crying face emoji. So if everyone could practice sending emojis right now so we can make sure that it works in the private Facebook group live stream. Are you seeing emojis, Stephen? Can someone send an emoji, please? A heart?
Are we sure that anybody can hear us even? Technically, is it? 13.
Can they hear us, Stephen?
We got some thumbs up.
Okay.
And a mad face and a heart and a sad face.
A sad face. Oh, I'm sorry, making everyone sad. All right. So the Elections Committee had received nominations for the following positions for the following people, and the following have also accepted these nominations. Nominees for co-president, the full 2-year term, Meredith Miska. Co-president, the special election for the 1-year term remaining, Robert Murmer. That's me. Treasurer, Glenn Bilesbach the second. For coordinator, Stephen Phillips. For UFF senators, we have Meredith Miska, Robert Murmer, Glenn Bilesbach II, Stephen Phillips, Kaylee McGinnis, Javier Mesa, Michelle Lesifko Bremer, apologies if I mispronounced that, and Alexa Velez. For FEA delegate, we have Meredith Miska, Robert Murmer, Glenn Bilesbach II, Stephen Phillips, Kaylee McGinnis, and Javier Mesa. I will now open the floor digitally to any additional nominations. Please nominate by commenting on this video. Are there any? Do you see any comments? Hearing none, I will close the floor for nominations and ask that we now vote on whether to elect this slate of candidates. For ayes, please comment with, or for ayes, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a smiley face emoji, and for nays, give us a angry face or sad face emoji. And Stephen Phillips is going to let me know whether
should we register a vote as well, the 3 of us and you.
You guys can say aye if you like.
Aye.
Aye.
Yep. Do you see any emojis? None?
Well, 4 against 0, we win.
Right. All right, yeah.
We got some thumbs up.
Any angry face or?
No, not yet.
All right. Give you guys another few seconds to vote here. Remember, ayes would be a smiley face or a thumbs up. Nays would be an angry face or a crying face.
It'd be really cheeky if somebody did an emoji of an eyeball itself. And then a horse for me.
How many emojis did you see?
Different people. Or thumbs up.
All right.
Smiley face.
So I'm going to call it the ayes have it. Congratulations to all of the new officers, UFF senators, and FEA delegates. The terms of office begin on April 30th. And thank you once again for your patience during this sort of awkward election. This is the first time since I've been in GAU that we've even had an election by acclamation, and definitely the first time we've done it virtually. So once again, congratulations to Meredith Miska, Glenn Bilesbach, Stephen Phillips, Kaylee McGinnis, Javier Mesa, Michelle Lesifko Bremer, Alexa Velez. All right. Now I also, moving on to the co-president's update, I do have 4 brief announcements. First, unfortunately, our fee relief legislation in the Florida legislature has died. It died on calendar. There have been no negative votes on this legislation. Once again, this was legislation that our counterparts, our statewide union, had introduced language, and it was sponsored by members of the Florida House and the Florida Senate. This bill would have waived most fees for graduate assistants in all state universities in Florida. It did receive 1 vote in the Senate, in the Senate Education Committee, where it was voted. They voted for it unanimously, and it passed that committee. However, it died on the calendar in several committees in the House of Representatives, as well as dying in the Higher Ed Appropriations Subcommittee in the Senate. The legislative session is ongoing. However, as of Friday, any remaining business in the Florida legislature is limited to the General Appropriations Act. This is essentially the state budget that we will be running off of for the upcoming fiscal year. So we do not expect to see this fee relief, legislatively at least, during this session. There is still a slight possibility that we will be able to have the legislature waive some specific fees through what is called a legislative train in the Florida legislature. This is where essentially, as they're negotiating over the budget, representatives and senators can tack on certain earmarks to release certain money for certain purposes. Our statewide staff will be working on that. However, in all likelihood, we do not expect to see legislative fee relief this year. That being said, this is the furthest we've ever gone in the Florida legislature, and this is the first time that graduate assistance fee relief has been presented as a standalone bill. Before, we have tried to insert the same language as amendments on other bills, but this is the first time we've ever had a standalone bill for the issue, and we've received unanimous support for this policy from at least one committee in the Senate, right? So we have bipartisan, unanimous support. So things do look promising for next legislative session, which will be in 2021. As many of you might have noticed or might have seen on our Facebook page, the regular UF Graduate Assistants United Facebook page, we did send a series of questions regarding the university's response to the COVID-19 outbreak, specifically transitioning to online classes for instructors and TAs, as well as trying to shut campus down as much as possible for all other staff. This list of questions was sent to the provost's office on Friday morning. We have yet to receive a response from them, unfortunately. I did send a follow-up email personally about a half hour ago asking our contact in the provost's office to give us a ETA for when we could expect the questions to be answered in writing. In the meantime, please keep abreast of any updates that the university might send you. I know that you have been just flooded with emails, and it's really annoying. Many of them passive-aggressive, such as, we can tell you what social distancing is not, and we truly need you to practice it. But keep checking your email inboxes for updates from the university until we can get written responses to the questions that we sent them on Friday. Our communications officer, Stephen Phillips, will be sending out another press release on Wednesday that will let everyone know, as well as the media, whether the questions were answered or not, and we will reassess then what we will do if they do not return responses in writing to our questions. Any questions you may have about this, remember, you can ask towards the end of this virtual general body meeting by Facebook messaging UF Graduate Assistants United. Another update, 3 of 4. We are aware that several graduate assistants who are here at the Gainesville campus have not received their fee waivers that we were able to win. The graduate school is aware of this and is working with the bursar to get those graduate assistants their fee waivers. And we will be contacting the assistant dean of the graduate school, Paul Duncan, on Wednesday to get an update for whether or not the remaining GAs that need their fee waivers have gotten them in their bursar accounts. So there has been another small glitch in fee relief that we won in bargaining, but as of last week, the graduate school was on it and rectifying the issue for graduate assistants who work on Gainesville campus. Graduate assistants who do not work on Gainesville campus, who are at the extension centers or the St. Augustine campus, they unfortunately do not receive the fee relief because these are fees that are only levied on workers here in Gainesville. Finally, there's just a reminder that all of our March events have been canceled. As of right now, GAU's April events have not been canceled, but the executive board will discuss whether to cancel them in light of the new CDC recommendations. All right, so general committee updates. Treasury, our budget is on pace to stay within the limits prescribed at the that we voted on at the fall 2019 general body meeting, so our budget does look to be in good shape. For the International Student Affairs Committee, the International Student Affairs Committee, led by Jackie and Akil, do have a survey ready to go out to international students to sort of get a feel for what the campus climate is like for them, the issues that they're experiencing, problems specific to the international student community here at the University of Florida. That survey is pretty much ready. We still do need some help in getting it translated into Arabic. So the survey is in several different languages, major world languages, and all of them are translated, ready to go, with the exception of Arabic, where we still have some problems. Once it's appropriate, the survey will be sent out to international students. However, given the coronavirus crisis and all the chaos here on campus and the chaos involved with switching classes to an online format, we are postponing sending out that survey and waiting until we hear back from the International Center and sort of get a sense of whether international students would actually be able to devote the mental energy and time needed to fill the survey out. The co-chairs, Jackie and Akil of the International Student Affairs Committee, do want me to let you guys know that that you can reach out to GAU to let us know how we can assist international students best during this really trying and chaotic time. So, please let GAU know at organizing@ufgau.org or message us on Facebook or Twitter to let us know how we can assist international graduate students. Update from the Chief Stewards. The Stewards Committee has worked this semester to get members more involved by reaching out to departments about increasing union participation. Participating in the Build Our Union workshop to build organizing skills, and identifying members who will help us to understand the needs of their departments, including how the union might best get involved and what events might garner the most participation. Through the Stewards' plans for in-person event, or though the Stewards' plans for in-person events will need to be put off for the foreseeable future, they will be prioritizing communication with the members to offer help and support during the ongoing crisis and the difficulties of transitioning to virtual classes. So the Chief Stewards want everyone to know that they are working hard to ensure that the lines of communications between departments and the UFGAU Executive Board will remain open and effective during this coronavirus crisis, and they're working on that. Now I'm going to hand the floor over to Jonathan Tyrella, our outgoing organizing chair.
Hello, everyone. So as Bobby said, I'm the organizing chair, Jonathan. I am going to be outgoing, as he says. I have done the position for the past 2 years, but I'm getting closer to the end of things, and I really need to focus on my dissertation work. So I welcome anybody who has any interest in getting more involved to reach out and ask about what's involved. I stepped into the position at a time when it was vacant, actually. So I would like anybody's interested to show interest sooner rather than later, and I can let the person know what's involved. It's really a position where you can make it what you want it to be, but it involves organizing events, which sounds, self-explanatory enough. But you're going to probably be more involved also around recruitment time in the for the fall semester, and coming up with ideas. Unfortunately, the event I had planned is postponed till April 7th, and it may be postponed until even later. It's something I do not want to cancel. I want it to happen, however. As some of you may be aware, we have had at least two. We've lost two fellow GAs in the past year. In June, you had Hui Xian Chen, and then in October we had somebody in pharmaceutical studies, not on the Gainesville campus, but still with the UF. And there was another department which also had at least one that we know of in the recent past. So what I'd like to do is do more than what the university did with just one service in the summer for Hui Xiang Chen, for example, but something to bring attention to this, especially if people came into this campus new this fall. They would have had no idea. It's a problem of overwork and employee abuse that happens, fortunately, in departments that are a bit isolated from each other, and they don't know that what they're going through is both not normal, because not every department has it, but it's also, unfortunately, too common. Other departments go through the same thing. And we need to remember what had happened, not brush it under the rug. So this candlelight vigil I had planned April 7th tentatively. We will see what happens if the university decides to keep the precaution measures going on longer. It may not be feasible, so stay tuned for that. But as Bobby says, I will be stepping down, so I will no longer be the official chair as of the end of April. So please let me know if you have any interest in being the organizing chair, or you know somebody who would. There's no strong obligation. You can express some interest and talk to me without officially taking on the responsibility if you don't know if it's for you yet. But I welcome you to send an email to the organizing at ufgau.org, or to ask for me, an email to be forwarded to me directly. You can find out information about the chairs and who's where at ufgau.org. And I just hope that everyone's classes go well, both the classes you are taking and ones you are teaching, and stay safe out there.
Thank you, Jonathan. And now hand it over to Kaylee McGinnis, our grievance officer.
Hi, peeps. So I'm your newly elected grievance chair. I have actually been in this position since the last week of January. I've been officially elected today. Just a little bit about what we've done so far. When, as you all know, the bursar accounts didn't reflect the fee relief that we had won in our last bargaining session. We filed a chapter grievance on behalf of all of our members, all graduate assistants. As soon as we filed that, the university made very quick progress after that on getting that reflected back into our accounts. So we dropped that. There was no need to continue on with the chapter grievance. Other than that, we've had a few grievance cases that we were able to settle informally between graduate assistants and their departments. One example would be me and Bobby just went to a specific department to negotiate on behalf of one of our members. The student was facing academic discipline, and that there was a little bit of conflict with the workload that did not enable that student to do as much of the research requirements as they were, that was stated in their, what's it called? I'm losing the name. Yes, LOA. And so we successfully negotiated reasonable milestones. They were given some very unreasonable milestones. We successfully negotiated that with the students department. So if you have any issues like that, please email the organizing account. You can fill out a grievance form. I will read over it. I will email you and we can talk, because this is a really important power we have as a collectively organized laborers for the university. Otherwise, you would just be subject to your department and have no representation. So please email me if you have any situations that you think might fall into this category. Other than that, Stephen?
All right. Thank you, Kaylee, Bobby, and Jonathan. My name is Stephen Phillips. I am the Communications Chair of GAU. As far as committee updates, we continue to send out our monthly newsletters, which have been well received by our fellow GAs. If you have something that you would like to include in the newsletter, such as a department event or an employment opportunity, please email communications@ufgau.org. The last 5 months or so have been busy from a communications perspective. A lot has been going on, from the start of full book bargaining to the delay in fee relief that Kaylee was just mentioning, to the current public health crisis with COVID-19. We continue to do our best to keep our fellow graduate assistants informed as best as we can. That's always our goal. As Bobby mentioned, we'll be sending out more information, and we'll be sending out another email shortly with more information, resources on COVID-19 and what the union is doing. Just to re-emphasize something that we've said in our emails and our press releases and our posts, we do strongly encourage everyone to treat COVID-19 seriously, to practice social distancing, and to follow the advice of the CDC and other public health professionals. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. So now I will take some questions. You can send your questions to you. You can send your questions on Messenger, to Facebook Messenger, to UF Graduate Assistants United, and then I'm just going to have Stephen let me know when we have some of those. I did want to say something about bargaining. I have spoke to the Chief Bargainer, Javier Mesa, and we still plan to go ahead with upcoming bargaining meetings. They'll be done virtually, as well as bargaining sessions we might hold with the university. So we do not plan on canceling bargaining. We will push through with that. Do you have any questions yet?
Not that I see.
Oh, Bobby, perhaps we could talk about the next event we have, the member social and the happy hour.
Well, once again, as of right now, all of our March events, including the social, are canceled. Our April events are still scheduled, including the happy hour, but that will be revisited. That'll be revisited by the executive board.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
There is a question concerning the bargaining meeting that was originally scheduled for tomorrow. So is that still going on, and if so, how can people participate?
So, as of right now, we do still expect to have the bargaining meeting tomorrow, unless Javier I know you're out there watching unless you have heard differently. I imagine that, once again, I have not checked my email in 10 minutes, so this might have changed, right? Things are really hectic on campus. However, what I'm guessing is, judging by an email from earlier today, it is recommended that no more room reservations be made. I'm not sure when exactly that kicks in. I do not think it kicks in tomorrow, or I don't think that it kicked in today. So I'm still planning on going to the meeting, and then we can hopefully do a Zoom. So can you hand me that pad there? Right next to you. Right there. Thank you. So actually, thank you. I'll go ahead and make a note right now to check in on that and make sure that the meeting is still scheduled to go, and also try to get a Zoom conference ID or a Zoom conference set up and have a conference ID that we can email out to members so they can view the meeting. Any other questions?
Anything in the summer? Should we talk about what we do in the summer?
Still trying to
Yeah.
this one. And nothing? All right. Thank you guys for viewing. I did want to say one more thing. The term that I am getting ready to begin, the second term of the co-presidency, is actually half of a term. It's only 1 year, and that's because our current other co-president, Andrea Medina, is unfortunately leaving us for greener pastures in the Pacific Northwest. Andrea has been a very, very effective co-president. You know, she has taken no BS from the administration or any of the administration's representatives, and she really has put bad actors on campus on notice, not to mess with us and not to mess with the most vulnerable in the University of Florida community. We will miss her feistiness and her fighting spirit. She was a tremendous asset to this chapter, and you know, she's a great personal friend of mine. So, Andrea, thank you for everything that you've done.
Thank you, Andrea.
Yes, thank you. So if everyone can give Andrea a thumbs up emoji, or you can do a sad emoji because she's leaving. Do we have any of those? They're coming up, yeah.
There are
Oh,
thousands
sad.
and thousands of emoji.
Yes.
There's got to be
So,
one for the occasion.
Thank you again for your service, Andrea. And that concludes our GBM for the semester. Thank you.